In Hot is presented by Botano. The game starts now. Here are your hosts, Brent Wallace, Jason York, and Bobby Ryan.
Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Coming In Hot, presented by Botano. Boys, the game last night against the Leafs in Battle 1 of Ontario, never in doubt, as I always said.
What a win. Never in doubt.
Except, yeah. Hey, you're not allowed to change your pick, by the way.
Okay, let's get, you want to get it? Let's do it right now. I sent a group text
he's
Tuesday.
Got proof he knew we were coming for him.
And I said, is it okay? I think I'm going to change my mind. And Bobby said, of course, right up until game time. And I said, okay, let me get back to you. I'm thinking of changing it. You never commented. And I even said yesterday at 5:30, I'm changing my pick. Bobby's like, wow, I made the bet on Botano and nothing from you. So I don't want to hear a complaint.
I think this is very similar to the Dadonov situation. All parties have to sign off on this before it's an official transaction. Wally, we might have to come up with some kind of fine or something.
There's punishment. I did the rules. You were
kangaroo
in the
court.
You look kangaroo court, Bob.
Yeah. Well, you know what? To be fair, you should have gotten back to him, but you're already at trivia night at the Cat, right?
Yeah, that was the problem. Where Wally wasn't invited. Again,
yeah,
just can't get an invite.
Very disappointed.
One of these days.
Speaking of, we'll get to other establishments in the Canada area when it's coming to people talking about meals and who's at places. We'll talk about Patrick Waugh in a bit. As always, though, let's get into the win last night by the Sens. But this show, proudly presented by BEI, Bonisher Excavating Inc., helping to shape the Ottawa Valley for all your aggregate topsoil supply needs, equipment rentals. They are hiring. When you're planning your next project, consider BEI for your aggregate supply needs. Call them 613-432-1120 or go to bonisherexcavating.com. And Bobby, as always,
slow down in construction zones, folks.
Also by Sober Carpenter, our new quenching supplier, if you will. Real craft beer, no alcohol. Hold the alcohol, keep the flavor, only 55-60 calories per can. Enjoy a range of non-alcoholic beers. So good that you won't have to compromise on taste if you also want a healthier lifestyle. So good that you'll forget it's non-alcoholic. Look for it at Sobeys, Loblaws, Whole Foods, Metro, Farm Boy, other retailers. Also, go to sobercarpenter.com, sign up for the newsletter. It's an automatic 10% off. They give you a coupon code. Or if you buy 2 cases, they will give you free shipping, and I think it's 15% off. Sober Carpenter, welcome aboard. Happy to have you. Okay, gentlemen. 6-3 win. Tim Stützle was obviously a huge story in this one with 4 points. But before we get into Stützle, what did you like about this game, Bobby?
I don't think they had spurts where they took on some water, but it wasn't extended periods of time. They seemed to get out of the funk a lot quicker. I like the response after going down. Not early, but after trailing, there wasn't an immediate let's chase the game. There's a let's get back into this on our own time kind of mentality. I liked. Really liked Matthew Joseph and Claude Giroux. I thought they were the best players on the ice. I thought it was a much needed, necessary, tightened up road game, and a huge win. So I liked everything. I liked everything about the game.
I want to throw another name out there. I threw can't believe I forgot about him too. Jacob Chikrin last night, fellas. Like
he's still on the ice.
31 minutes. I just joked he's gonna have to eat a little extra beef liver heart today in his pregame. The guy's gonna be like, that's a big turnaround. But 31 minutes. And people like just taking on those extra minutes, because you can tell the coaching staff right now they don't trust the other guys to put them on the ice. And that's a pretty tough situation to be in. You're the D coach back there. You're looking, damn it, who am I putting out there? Who am I? Chikrin, get out there.
Just go back out there. Go.
Get back out there. Get back out there. And that's like, I've played over 30 minutes a few times in my career. And I got to tell you, that is so tough to do. It is so tough to do. And Chikrin's not a guy that just stays back. It's one thing to be a defensive defense, but he's up in the play all the time. So I was really impressed with his game. Like that's logging those minutes was huge, and I agree. Like that line was so good. But to Bob's point, you kind of hit on it. Start the game, Korpisalo lets in, not a great goal, and then the Senators respond after that. Usually, when like the last little losing stretch here, it was the other way around. Senators would score, then they would come back and they'd give up another one right away. They kind of reverse that. They bent, but they didn't break. And like you said, Bob, in the third period, they didn't find a way to lose the game. They found a way to win the game.
Yeah.
And was it perfect? No. But was Wall terrible? Absolutely. But still, they didn't find a way to lose. Hey, they were feeling the pressure. Absolutely. Yeah. And to respond under the pressure is full mark to the team. It was a well fought game and well deserved.
Is there a surprise? It felt like the Brady, Tkachuk, Josh Norris, Drake Batherson line, which we were excited to see. I just felt they were really quiet. I know Brady played 20 minutes, but I didn't feel like they were there, to put it mildly.
They couldn't find each other's sticks. All their passes were like 2 to 3 feet off. It felt like they just weren't great. They didn't need to be because Stützle's line was. I have no problem thinking that they won't have a bounce back night tonight. Maybe it doesn't mean they get on the board, but at the same time, we'll notice them. They've played together too long in the past and are too comfortable with each other and not get back into that rhythm. I believe that they will. Just think it's going to take a minute. That's okay, because you have whether you want to call it 1 or 2 or 1B. That other line is it can carry the mail here for a minute while these guys get going.
And that's the nice thing. And I'm talking about nice things in a part of the season where these guys are under the microscope. You're under the microscope right now. Every little thing you do. Drake Batherson, he's getting dissected all the time. Brady's had a pretty nice start to the season. Norris is still trying to, at least to me, trying to figure things out. But it's a good sign. I actually think it's a good sign because you didn't notice them, but they went into Toronto and won. So I look Kubalik's on the score sheet again. I know it was a redirection, but still. Like, this guy was not off to the best starts, and now all of a sudden he's got a few goals. So you basically got, hey, it's the NHL. Every single night, it's tough to get all 3 lines going. That line wasn't going. Unfortunately, right now, they're under the microscope, so everyone's talking about it. But Kubalik was good. Tarasenko had a couple really good looks in the third period. That one in particular had it on his stick, just missed a few times. So, hey, they're still battling right now. They still got to figure things out, and man, I'm excited to watch tonight's game. Like, here we go, back to backs. Like, and that's what everybody's saying. You won, now do it again, and that's part of being good in the league, right?
So here's a question I have about. It just came up in the chat, so it's not my question. We thought Artem Zub was likely going to be in the lineup yesterday, and then he didn't take warm up, which was a bit of a surprise. Well, at least to me. Do you think he plays tonight based on not taking warm-up yesterday? I'm thinking he doesn't because he didn't do warm-up. But do you think Chychrun would play that many minutes tonight if they didn't have Zub back in the lineup, was the question in the chat.
I think he will. I don't think, because if he doesn't, have a choice. The good thing about and Yorkie, when you and I had to try to play, you played 31 minutes. You skated a little differently than that guy, huh? The way he skates is how effortless. Like, he's so effortless sometimes. He's 2 to 3 strides and he's at full speed. And he's a fitness fanatic, so he's absolutely primed and ready to deal with it. Will he have the same jump at 31 minutes again? No, but if Zub doesn't play, don't you think, Yorkie, that you have to give the guy off tomorrow? If you need to, but play him 31.
Usually if you're this will go in the back of the minds of the coach's head, because usually we got to play again tomorrow night, so we want to make sure we have him for both games. But every single game for this coaching staff right now it's always a must win. It's always a must win, but now you're feeling a little more. So if you were going to play him a little bit less, it would have been last night. Now tonight we'll think, okay, let's go again, because you got to win again, because you got to do it again. You got to back it up, and you don't play till Saturday, so you got a day off. And Chychrun will have a complete day off tomorrow. Same with Sanderson. Hamonic played 20 minutes last night, which he had a nice little game, by the way, too, Travis Hamonic. But yeah, he's in great shape. I used to have a long stride, Bob. Wasn't quite as big as Big Chick, but
I didn't know
couldn't
you were
tell.
that smooth.
I was
just
one
didn't
of
know
the
you were that smooth.
I was one of those guys they didn't think were trying when they skated the long stride. I was good in the bag skate because it just keep going the same speed all the time. Right? It's like cross country skiing.
See, that's what I like about back to backs is that everybody gets a little slower and I just stay the same speed. Like, that's where I made my hay.
Damn it, Ryan's quick tonight, man. I can't believe the shape he's in. Back to backs.
He's got some jump.
It's funny, Yorkie, you bring up Hamonic, who was +4, because people in the chat do not say Travis Hamonic played well despite being +4. So you've upset the people in the chat.
Here's the thing. Sorry, I'm eating my scone right now.
Take your time. We're just here waiting for you.
Great scone, by the way.
Don't let our show get in the way of all that eating.
If you watch, this is the thing where everyone's watching right now. Hockey is a game of mistakes. You're going to make mistakes throughout the game. It's when you make the mistakes, key times. And to me, when the heat was on in that game last night, I thought Ottawa at key moments of the game last night, especially in the third period, a lot of guys did a lot of good. Early in the game, yeah, there was some mistakes. There's always going to be mistakes. The one goal in particular, Timmy Stützle at center ice falls down as check goes by him. They go down, they get that nice 2-on-1. It's how do you respond after? What do you do after that to make a difference? And I was always told this, Bob, I'm sure you were, hockey's a game of mistakes. You're going to make some. It's how do you recover after that? And obviously, Tim Stützle recovers a little different than Travis Hamonic.
Yeah,
where he goes out and he's all over the score sheet. Where Hamonic, it's like blocking a shot, doing something here. This is the problem. Travis Hamonic's not a top 4 defenseman. He's not. So what they're asking him to do right now is a very tough thing to do because you're going to see him get exposed from time to time.
Yeah.
Early on in the season, when Hamonic was slotted properly in the third pairing, he was playing great. When they got off to that good start, he was blocking shots, doing things, but he's being asked to do something right now at this point in his career. He's going to make mistakes. He just is. It's just he's not the same player he used to be, and that's okay. But it is what it is. Like, hey, Chychrun's playing 31 minutes for a reason.
Yeah. Yep. It's a great way to describe it because he's not a top 4 defenseman. Being asked to do top 4 things, you're going to have to live with the exposure. And the team can. Fans maybe not so much, but the team's understanding of what they're asking a player to do. It's a little more than that player is supposed to be giving you. Yeah. And I think we need to understand that as well at times.
Yeah, and everyone's probably wondering why is Tyler Clevin not playing like he did last year? He got burned by Matthews, and he's not the same player. Well, here's the difference. When Clevin came in last year, it was a little bit different, not as much pressure, and they were playing him a lot because you could afford to play him in a situation. He was playing 20 minutes a game because the games, coaches' jobs weren't like on the line like they were right now. So now it's a totally different schematic where you're watching him play. And you talk to same with forwards, but it's even more so with D-Bob. If you're playing around 10 minutes, man, you feel like a friggin' bag of shit. Every time you get on the ice, everything's going super fast. Then you go to the bench, you sit there, and your heart rate goes from 180 right down to 100, and you're totally out of sync. And I know because I've did it. And I played my worst hockey in my career when I played 10 to 12 minutes. I was awful. And it's just, you're not in the flow of the game. It's a really tough thing to do.
Well, you could turn to Jello too. The Jello legs when you get out there and everybody's at speed and you're like, okay, well, it's going to take me 20 seconds to catch up, 15 seconds to settle in, and then the shift's over and I got to do it again in 10 minutes.
Even the young guy, like the guy 33 on Mattapalo there, like, my God, like the game looks like it's going a million miles an hour for him. And it is.
It is.
It is. Like, he's not used to the league. He's not used to the speed. Down in Belleville, he's playing a ton. He feels great. He feels confident. Now you're out here. It's like, what the hell's going on out here?
He played 550.
I mean, that's
just like you're basically going on the ice to give Chychrun and Sanderson a breathe. That's what you're doing. And the coach is like putting you on in a situation. Please don't get scored on. Please don't get scored on. That's what's going on. Like, and it's so tough to do. But I understand why they're doing it.
I don't think Matt and Paolo has looked very well. either.
Well,
And I don't mean
well,
that.
he can't.
That's my. Sorry, I don't. Not in a. I don't want to seem like I'm coming down on him, but he just looks like, I'll say, timid or scared. No one likes to be called scared. So you can just see though he's not comfortable.
Yeah,
well, that's why. Like, he doesn't know the league that well yet. It's all new. He doesn't, and it takes a while to get used to your D partner and all this stuff. It's a really. I'm not making excuses for the guy. I'm just telling you why it's happening, and that's why it's a little bit of an art form for guys that can play in those situations, can play limited minutes, and actually do a good job with it. It's just they usually have experience. They're older, bigger guys. They don't do a lot, and it's a tough thing to do. That's all I'm saying.
And you're also out
Jordy,
every time he's going on the ice. Sorry, Wally. Every time he's going on the ice, it's probably a neutral zone faceoff. He's not starting in the D zone. He's not starting on the offensive side of things because you have two offensive studs in Chychrun and Sanderson. So you're getting all of these. On top of that, if you're going to start a shift, it's going to be a neutral zone faceoff, which everybody hates. I wish they would take them out, to be honest with you, and just put you in one zone or the other. But you're just fighting such an uphill battle.
Yeah.
And then on top of it, you're probably not an NHL defenseman to begin with. That's not a slight. I'm just saying that's where we're at right now. And he doesn't have the opportunity to gain any traction going right now. So I give him the benefit of the doubt.
The guys, you know, as a player, if the coaches have any trust in you whatsoever. So imagine you're on the, and you know that, and you're on the bench. You're like, you basically know the coach's goal is to try and keep you out of any situation that's going to be a Austin Matthews on the ice. And the one shift when Matthews wasn't on the ice, chipped him by him. Then he got on Clav and he toe dragged Clevin. And then all of a sudden they almost scored. It was a great save by Corpusalo. But then after that, you could just tell the coach, God, we're not putting that guy on the ice again in that situation. See what happens? That's what happens.
So this will spark a debate because this is always fun. I got to find it here. Adam Deschambault. His metrics are better than Hamonic's. So let me ask the two of you if you're going to put Travis Hamonic on the ice in a defensive zone faceoff or Matt and Paolo.
Fucking metrics.
Do you want me just to move on?
I don't care about your metrics. I'm putting Hamonic out because I know that he knows the game.
800 games.
Yes. He's been in a situation over 800 times.
Yeah.
I'm putting Hamonic out. Whether or not you like Matt and Paolo or not, Hamonic also knows who's coming down the wing.
Yeah.
He's you know why Hamonic, I think, sometimes has really poor metrics? He's smart enough to know that when he's beaten, he just goes back to the net instead of chasing. He just goes back to the net and then redeploys. So it's not even a question for me, and it's not a slight to Matt and Paolo. It just hasn't played enough.
No, and I'll tell you why the coaching staff trusts Hamonic. The guy eats pucks. For breakfast. Like, this guy blocks a lot of pucks, and when you do that, everybody on the bench notices it. They take notice. You see when you're watching a game on TV, they see the block. The guys limp. How many times did you watch Hamonic like limping off the ice, get to the bench, back pats are coming? That goes a long way with your teammates, your coaching staff. You know, he might have turned it over to begin with, and that's why he had to block the shot. But that's a different conversation. But it's if you look at the Sens right now, come on, like, look at the injuries. No Shabbat. Brandstrom was playing pretty well, and no Zub. So Hamonic's playing, and he's going to play more, and he's going to make mistakes. It is what it is.
Travis Hamonic eats pucks for breakfast. Jason York nibbles on scones.
Oh, yeah.
This show.
They're so bad for you.
My wife, I just had one this morning. Cinnamon. Oh, it's so good. Oh. My wife used to make them for a local coffee shop every morning.
That's they're just like muffins, except they suck all the saliva out of your mouth.
You know what's in a scone? I was reading the ingredients because we were sitting around. I have a scone in the morning. I like say to my wife Laura, "What's in a scone, by the way?" It's like butter, lots of flour, sugar. Oh, good. All the essential food nutrients I need in my healthy diet.
No, they're definitely healthy.
So I'm just gonna get a scone body.
Well, you know what? If you want, you could have scones delivered to you by DoorDash if you download the app.
Yes.
Ordering is easy. Just open the DoorDash app, choose the scone you want from where you want, and your items will be left safely outside your door with their default contactless delivery setting. With Double Dash on DoorDash, you can order from multiple restaurants or stores in the same delivery. You could get coffee then without additional delivery fees. So everyone can get what they want and need. For a limited time, our listeners can get 25% off and zero delivery fees on their first order of $15 or more when you download the DoorDash app and enter code NATION25, all uppercase letters. That's 25% off, $10 value, and zero delivery fees on your first order when you download the DoorDash app in the App Store and enter code NATION25. Don't forget, code NATION25 for 25% off your first order. Offer valid in Canada, subject to change. Terms apply. Okay, time for hot or cold performer. I think this is pretty simple today, gentlemen. This show could be all about Tim Stützle and his game last night. So last night, Tim Stützle had a 4-point night, a goal, 3 assists. That's his 5th 4-point night of his career. Just a reminder, because we're going to say this a few times, the kid is 21 years old. So there's a couple of other notes we can talk about with Tim Stützle when it comes to it. So on top of him with the 4-point night, Gavin, throw up the next board, whatever one you got on Tim Stützle. There we go. He is one of 5 Senator players to have played minimum 15 games that has a point per game against the Toronto Maple Leafs in the Battle of Ontario. Mark Stone leading the way, by the way, at 1.43 in 21 games. And then this from the National Hockey League today. Most games with 4+ points before the age of 21 among active players. He sits behind Sidney Crosby, who has 14. Matthew Tkachuk, Connor McDavid, Nick Backstrom, and there's Tim Stützle. His offensive production is outstanding. And then finally, we'll save the other did you know for a sec. You know what? Let's screw it. We're going to do it right now.
Get it up there.
Hang on, Gavin.
Could you make the print a little smaller? I had to put my glasses on, for God's sake.
So, Yorkie, in the email you got last night after I built all this stuff following the show, which means I didn't get a lot of sleep, you couldn't be bothered to read it.
Oh no! Listen, I was on fire on Twitter last night, just hammering out tweets. You got to pump the show up between shows. Come on!
You were just mad at me. That's all I got out of the Twitter last night.
No, I was rolling. I was rolling.
All right. So, and one last thing is, before we get to the final Tim Stützle point, is the Wendy's Daily Face-Off Survivor Pool up and running. I have now won the first 2 of the week, and then today's you can pick a Canucks win, a Sens win, a Jets, Ryan O'Reilly with an assist. There's 10 different options you can choose from. Get in to join all the action, win tons of prizes with the Wendy's Daily Face-Off Survivor Pool, all kinds of prizes, including Wendy's newest addition to their All-Star Burger lineup, the Very Real Barbecue Bacon Cheeseburger. Enjoy the Applewood smoked bacon, crispy onions, and cheese melts over the fresh, never frozen Canadian beef. If you see the commercial, it's much better than my read, but it looks really, really good. They do barbecue right. Download the Wendy's app and get set for the Daily Face-Off Survivor Pool, sponsored by Wendy's. Now, here's the final Tim Stützle note on his night. Did you know, with his 4-point performance against the Leafs on Wednesday, I should have you read this, Yorkie. Tim Stützle tied Brady Tkachuk for the second most points scored by a Senators player aged 21 or younger. Stützle won't turn 23 until January 15th, which is another 27 more games for the Ottawa Senators, and he sits 27 points behind Martin Havlat for the most points by a player 21 or younger.
Well, that's a nice little play on words there. I see what you're doing there. A little stupendous. I'm noticing. That's good. Good job.
Thanks. Finally, after a year, you've now noticed I every once in a while have a funny.
Yeah. Hey, back to our bets by the sec. Bob, question for you. You ever play golf with nothing on the line? Like, how much fun is that when you golf and you're really just golfing? Like, you got to have something on the line, right?
But yeah, that's just a walk with a bag.
Right? It's terrible. It's terrible.
I don't care if I'm playing for bubble gum. Something's got to be played for.
We made a bet.
I need a carrot or something for these. Like I got to get more engaged in our Botano bets. We got to get something on the line, Bob, because it's like, come on. Like,
hold on a second.
That's why Wally's winning right now. Like, you and I
we made a bet at the beginning of the year. Now,
what is it?
I have no idea what the bet is.
See, there you go.
But we did. I think someone buys the other person dinner. It should probably be at Fratelli's. We should probably get it free by all the advertising.
Nice segue.
I was going to say that the two guys that beat the guy in last place have to book them a flight that they don't know where they're going until they get to the airport. The flight. Send them anywhere in North America.
Vegas. I want Vegas.
Okay.
Okay, Cedar Rapids.
We start the betting now. We're starting clean slate. That's what we'll do.
No, no chance. The stats stay. I just before we, Bobby, there was a comment in here. I wish I could find it now. Who said, when it came to back-to-back games, you were skating like in a construction zone. Which is basically just to help with the BEI part. But anyway, I apologize. I can't find it now. All right. So I understand we say a lot about Tim Stützle offensively, 90 points last year. Is he a little underappreciated still? Like, let me put it to you this way, Bob.
It's a hard way to.
We just posted our lines and said whatever line Brady Tkachuk is on is the top line with Josh Norris and Drake Batherson. And I brought this up yesterday, going, well, maybe the Stützle line might be or I guess on Tuesday it should be number one.
It's hard to say that a player is underappreciated when we have an over/under on him of 90 plus points, right? So, I think it. I don't think he's ever underappreciated. I think the fan base and the people that speak about him as much as we do know how much he can give to you. Problem with that is sometimes you just expect him to have 2 a night. And when he doesn't, we have to talk about why he wasn't good enough. So I think we critique a little too much on a 21-year-old player that's capable of doing what he's doing. I think I would say that, but certainly not underappreciated. I watch games and, last night, that second goal, he just got blown over, and that's a mistake, and that's a young guy mistake, and those are the growing pains you're going to have. But it's also really hard to be critical of a guy that you expect to hang 4 sometimes, and he does. And then we just say, well, Tim was Tim. It's very, very hard to really, really accurately pick up a player like that sometimes. So not undervalued by any means, just maybe sometimes we're over demanding of him. I think at times.
When you throw up, what was it? 92 points last year? Was that
90?
He was
90. Yeah.
So you throw up those numbers and people just, okay, now we want more. And I think we had this conversation in the summertime, and we all said now he gets 4, so who knows, he might do it again. But people have no idea how much of a skill it is to carry the puck through the neutral zone and navigate through all the defensive schemes that teams do to try and stop you and get the blue line as much as Tim Stützle does. Like I think he's one of the best players in the NHL at doing that already. And he's 21 years old and he's still figuring things out. And it's just, that's what it is. It's expectations. But I just think there's very few guys in the league that make guys around them better. There's all kinds of great players, but there's not, name them, the guys that actually, you put them on a line, look what he's doing right now. And full credit to Matthew Joseph. Full credit to Matthew Joseph. Yep. But he's not getting these points if he's not playing with Tim Stützle.
Yeah. I agree.
But that's why that line kind of works. Joseph, he's a dog on a bone right now. He's got some speed. He's different. I think you brought this point up last week, Bob. How do you create a line? Try and bring something different that everybody brings to the line. But for Stützle, it's just expectations. And hey, I think the world of the kid. I just think there's going to be growing pains, but man, it's just the tip of the iceberg now, fellas. What we're seeing from him. Wait till he does a few more tours of the league and kind of figures out what certain defensemen do. Like, it's going to be scary.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more.
It's funny we're this far in to the night and we haven't discussed Claude Giroux as much as we probably should have.
Yeah.
And I know at the beginning you guys said him and Joseph were the best players on the ice, but did Claude Giroux win that game probably in the locker room?
No, that team was ready to go. The boys are ready to go. No, I don't think so. And that's not to slight his contributions to the room, because I think that's a big part of why he's here. He's not saying anything that hasn't heard. There's no world breaking happening back there. He was very good on the ice. He leads by example that guys followed, but he looked like he was on a mission last night, I thought. And I thought the same thing about Matthew Joseph. I thought the two of them came out and took control of the game. And Stützle ends up with 4. I get it. But even the Chychrun goal, that whole thing's made by Claude. Starts it. Matthew Joseph separates, makes the play. Like Timmy had the easy part of that. Just hit the guy in the slot. That's the easy part of the play. Although that goal was horrendous.
Which one?
Horrendous. Chychrun's. He fanned on the puck. He didn't get anything on it. Yeah. It still went under the pad. Like,
how about Kubelik's there though?
Well, that's Claude Giroux, right at the side of the net.
What is that? What's that spot with that goalie?
He was awful. And then Timmy strips him. Like, do you not know he's coming behind the net to take the puck from you? Like that was Wall was yikes.
That was a tough night. Yeah, but nonetheless, no, I don't think Claude did. I think Claude and Matthew Joseph went out there, led by example, and everybody followed.
Okay, so I want to bring up now. Pierre LeBrun has an article this morning in The Athletic. He has a sit down basically yesterday with Steve Staios in Toronto, and it came out. I thought yesterday that Staios spoke with the team. It might have been Elliot Friedman. Spoke with the team on Monday, and in fact, Staios says, "quote Yes," and I addressed it. So LeBrun says. It's an organization that as a whole has been under siege for weeks. And because of that, Staios spoke to the players on Monday morning. Quote, yes, I addressed it with them, who also had Daniel Alfredsson say some words in that meeting. So the two of them are now speaking. Inevitably, every team is going to face adversity. We got hit with a lot of adversity in a short period of time. I thought it was the right thing to do to address the team and let them know that, hey, this is adversity that we're facing, and it's my job to eliminate some of the noise for them and create the environment and stability where they can just go out and play. So does that message then play a part in that game last night?
I would say, yeah. Like when the new guy comes in and most of the guys don't really they're not that familiar with Steve Staios yet. They're just figuring things out. But it's very rare that, he's the interim GM right now. Even the GM doesn't come in the locker room that much, but when that does happen, it does grab everybody's attention. And right now it was perfect timing. So at the end of the day though, yeah, it does help, but I think it goes a lot, things that go a lot further, or when you're a young guy and you're sitting in the dressing room, you kind of look around and it's the older guys that set the tone. And like, that's when you look at Claude Giroux and he's calm. You look at Brady and I'm sure he's fired up. That's what leadership really is. I always say talk is cheap. It's other guys' body language, what they're doing, and everybody kind of feeds off that. So yeah, sure, it helped, and the timing was great. Alfie comes in as well. I'm sure that was meant something to the boys, but it's always the players, guys. It really is. And I think Giroux, the way he carries himself, I think that's why you brought him in. But man, I still can't believe what he's doing at this age. We were sitting in the bar last night. I was with some buddies watching the game, and they're like, what's Giroux, like 33, 32? I'm like, boys, he's turning 36 in January. Nobody believed me. And I said, here you go. He turns 36 in January. It's pretty crazy what he's doing right now at this age. Because you look around the league, how many 36-year-olds are playing like he is right now?
Yeah, not very many. Not very many. He's just so smart. He just gets to everywhere he needs to get to, doesn't he? Like they showed the goal 3 times where a young guy is going into that fray, going to the net battle, and he just says, hang on, the puck goes right here.
I really like, I said this about a month ago. I was talking about guys he reminded me of, and I used to play a lot when Jagger was playing with Mario Lemieux. And I'm not saying Claude Giroux is Mario Lemieux, but the way those two guys worked, Jagger would get the puck very similar to the way Timmy does, and Jagger would transport it to the neutral zone. And as soon as he got in the O zone, Mario was waiting, and he'd give him the puck, and everybody backed off. And you watch how Claude plays. He's not the fastest guy. he's not like he's got great skill, but he has the ability to look guys off. Like he waits, and he just it's an art form, Bob. You were pretty good at it. Slow when you know how to slow the game down and get a guy to commit before you make the play. Like he's so good at that. His brain and the way he processes reminds me a lot of how Lemieux used to play. And obviously Lemieux's Lemieux, but it's very similar. Very similar.
I can see the correlation on where you're going with that. I could absolutely do that. That's he's got a very, very good ability to slow things down. That's a lot like myself, whereas I was never going to be able to beat guys with my feet. It wasn't really going to be my way. So I had to have the ability one coach said to me, you have the ability to move guys with your eyes. And I think Claude has a really, really good ability to do that. You can look at a play, he can look at a person, move them. And because he's such a good passer, people have to honor that. So he's able to play at this age, not being the fastest or the fleetest of foot because of the way he's able to do those things.
And remember you play again, there's always those defensemen too, eh? We wheel the net, come up the middle of the ice, and they'd have the heads up, and all of a sudden, why is the forechecker swinging? Why is this guy? But the D's just looking guys off before you know it. Like it's certain guys just have that, and it's just as you can't really teach that. You either got it or you don't. It's some guys, their processors work so quickly, and like Bob said, Claude's got it in spades.
There's one thing about Claude Giroux. So I never like watching. You guys understand? We watched hundreds of practices all the time. You don't usually get excited to watch players practice, but Sidney Crosby was always a player I love to watch practice. Claude Giroux is so good with his hands in practice. Yeah. It's fun to watch. He's one of those guys you just want to see what he can do. I don't know what it's like for you guys in practice. Did anybody really get excited to practice? But it is fun to watch certain players.
Yeah. Who'd you like? Anybody you like watching, Bob?
No.
I hate practice.
I was the guy that never took days off. I practiced every chance I got because I for one knew that I wouldn't be able to sustain it if I couldn't. I felt like I lost it every single day. But I would say Cam Fowler was up there in Anaheim. Just for all the little things he did. Practicing against him was always a nightmare. And then Tyler Bertuzzi, I know, because you never knew what kind of Tyler was going to show up. Was he in the mood to practice, or was he in the mood to just choose violence? And he was always interesting.
Yeah. Okay, before we get to tonight's game, they're going to play the high-scoring Vancouver Canucks here in Ottawa, who they sat and waited for Ottawa to get here. We were able to get a photo from Fratelli's of we're pretty sure that this
do we got the security cam?
So I was having dessert at Fratelli's in a booth. I didn't want to say anything. And then it was just me and some other guy over there, and I looked, and there it is. It's Patrick Wallace. He's wearing a Sens shirt. I don't know what that means.
I got a message. I'm like, Patrick Wallace at Fratelli's. Is that Fratelli? He was there. And then I'm like later on, I'm like, maybe it wasn't him. It's like the rumor mill. But Wally, you've got video evidence here.
That looks like him, minus the legs and stuff. But yeah, that does look like him.
It does look like him. Were you just having a piece of cake midday?
Well, have you ever tried the dessert at Fratelli's?
No, I ate at Fratelli's a lot. I don't think I've ever had dessert there.
Oh. It's top notch.
I thought he just flew in for the chicken parm. Just flew in there, a little chicken parm,
a little pesto pasta on the side.
Pesto, yeah. A little dry. Ottawa's nice time of the year right now, Bob. Today it's snowing. Woke up this morning and there's snow outside.
Ottawa's gorgeous in fall. That's for sure.
Beautiful. Golf course is shut down. What else?
It is. The ground is white.
Yeah.
So anyway, are we supposed to dissect this, or are we just telling us?
No. It's funny to me how quickly this thing became factual, and there was no fact to it whatsoever. That was all. So I wish, part of me wanted to find like a celebrity lookalike and put his head on the body and say that's who it was. But I thought of doing Zach Smith because he's got the big beard, but I couldn't find a good enough picture. So
I was trying to think of a day trip itinerary for a Bob, and I was like, okay, he flew into Carp Airport. He probably went for a nice coffee somewhere. Then he went for chicken parm, maybe a little walk around Canada. Like, what else are you doing in a?
Well, maybe you went to the Nordique Spa first.
That's too far. That's too far.
Yeah,
that's about from Carp Airport. That's about an hour 20. He's not doing that.
He was just on the food tour. He went over from Fratelli's. He had dinner at Chibo, little street food pasta.
maybe took in a movie at the theater.
He wandered around the outlets.
Christmas shopping.
That's
That's what it was.
Yeah.
Oh, some good deals at Tanger. Yeah, could have went to Tanger.
All right. Anyway, it was very entertaining because this is how heightened the city of Ottawa is right now when it comes to anything remotely close to this, right? It's, oh my, what's next?
Gonna say he came in to go to that Canada casino, but we all know that never came to fruition. So
very strong by you. Very strong. Okay. Time now for Lock of the Day. Brought to you, of course, by Botano, who I just missed out on the parlay last night. I had Willem Nylander an assist, 2 goals in the first, and Brady Tkachuk needed to score a goal, and I would have won, and he didn't do it. Very disappointed. But as always, you can go download the DoorDash app. Download Botano app. Award-winning, by the way. They were just named the EGR Gaming of the Year, I think it was. Sports Betting Operator of the Year for 2023. In-Play Sports Operator, In-House Product Award, Best Mobile Sports Product Award, and Marketing Campaign Award, all for Botano. So they are best in class, as we like to say here in Ottawa. Go to Botano. The game starts now. Okay, so here are the records. Totally up to date and totally factual and totally right. So, yeah, Bobby, you're at 6-3.
It's been exhibition series.
We're not changing it. No,
starts today.
No. And now Vancouver's here on a back-to-back for Ottawa. Vancouver, the highest scoring team in the league.
Yeah,
they do play very well. They undefeated in regulation on the road. I think they're 5-0-1 or 6-0-1 on the road. How do we see this play out? And so, Yorkie, since you're so disappointed in the outcome of the last game, I will let you go first.
I'm looking for a coin right now. I can't find one.
Yeah.
The Sens, I have no idea what they're going to do. Like it's just so unpredictable. It's I don't really know what kind of team they are right now, to tell you the truth. I know what certain players can do. I have no idea what the goalies are going to do. I know Chikrin's going to play a lot tonight. I do know that. I did so. Oh God, man. Can I pass on this? Can I take a pass? Can I take my option on this one?
Smartest man in hockey never turns down a chance.
The smartest man in hockey is smart enough to know that the longer you gamble, it's not going to turn out good for you. I learned my lesson in Vegas a long time ago, Bob.
Just one bad trip.
One bad trip, and the next 3 trips were free. They were flying me in, bringing me in. Hello, Mr. York. Hello, Mr. York. Good to see you again. Welcome back to our lovely casino.
It's never good when the host meets you at the airport,
right?
All right. Let's see.
I'll take.
You got to do it though.
Give me the Sens. I'll take the Sens.
Wow.
And a back-to-back Jack.
I'm taking Vancouver, and I don't want to. That's a tough turnaround, man.
I know. It's very tough. And when did Vancouver last play? Where's the info on that, Wall? That's the thing. You never give us the info.
Oh, wait a second. You have a computer.
I'm using it right now.
You were the one at the bar last night. You could have been at home doing some work.
Told you. I was sending out sizzling tweets all night.
Sizzling. I'm going to take... Vancouver was sitting home watching that game last night.
Yeah. They've skated in Ottawa. Yeah, yesterday. Had a little practice.
Yeah, hold on. Before you go, Bob, I'm taking Vancouver. I forgot about that. They're waiting. I'm taking Vancouver.
Highest scoring team in the league, just sitting here licking their chops, having, Brook Street dinner, staying out of trouble. And and the boys got in late, and they're what 7-0-1, and they're like, yeah, I have to. I don't want to bet against the Sens after that game, but
I don't either. But what are you going to do?
the stats would tell you that this is a sleeper trap game.
Remember they beat the Edmonton Oilers 6-2, which was on Tuesday. No, Monday. When they it was Edmonton out shooting them, like I think they ended up 43-36, but they were up. Edmonton was like 19-7 in shots on goal and down like 3-1 or something ridiculous. So I don't know how you can't go against Vancouver at the moment, right? What have they shown that would make you think that they're not going to win? They've just played really well. Elias Pettersson is on fire. I think he's got 9 points in his last, is it 4 games? He's on a 5-game point streak, 9 points.
Doesn't Quinn Hughes have 21 points too?
Quinn Hughes is okay. Yeah. And against the last 4 games for Ottawa against Vancouver, 1-3, and they've allowed 19 goals against.
Yeah. Vancouver's not going to manage the puck like Toronto did last night. I'll tell you that.
No.
Tockett's got these guys playing the right way.
So, Bob, you're going to take Ottawa, right?
I'm sorry, I cannot. Yeah, I cannot. I'll be public enemy number 1 today, and I'm taking Vancouver.
Yeah, since I'm in the lead, I can pick and choose as I want here. But I am taking the Vancouver Canucks until somebody tells me differently.
Yeah.
You going to text at 5 o'clock when we know that Zoob's playing?
Well, and Zoob wasn't playing when I thought he was, and I was like, I'll take it because Zoob's playing, and then he wasn't.
I'm trying to think what would change for Zoob in 24 hours that would enable him to play. I'm trying to think because it's
nothing.
Concussion. It's a concussion, right? So it's
an
extra day. I know it, but
if he says I even have the slightest bit of headache, you start over too, right? So yeah.
That's tough.
I don't see it.
God.
Like for him not to take warm up, I thought maybe I'm wrong, but I thought was a telling sign. And I know warm up is not that big a deal for you guys, but it just shows to me that he was ruled out already in the morning.
Yeah.
I would say that's probably accurate. By the time they left the rink, he knew he wasn't playing, because if not, it would have been, hey, let's take warm up and make a decision.
Yeah.
It was probably, and on top of it, he's not a veteran player because he hasn't been around a ton, but he's a veteran defenseman. And they might have just said, hey, you don't need to be at the rink for 10 hours tonight or whatever it is, from 5 to 10. Like, let's just keep you away from everything, give you the night off. But I don't see that. I think they probably knew and told him to just relax and either be ready for tonight or we'll readjust. But I think they're probably going to have to readjust. I could be surprised.
Well, think about it this, like today's going to be an optional skate. Maybe 3 or 4 guys skate. How are you really going to test it and know you're ready to play tonight? I know you know when you know, right? But
yeah,
it's looking like he has a practice tomorrow and he plays Saturday if everything goes well. But yeah, man, has he ever missed? So like it's just that calming influence we talked about earlier, just that guy that settles things down, puts everybody back in their slots, and just goes to show you the value of a guy you really don't notice when he is playing, but you sure notice him when he's not playing.
True. Very true.
I think they've allowed a power play goal now in 6 straight games or something.
Yeah.
And by the way, he's been out for 7 straight games.
Yeah.
Something to that effect. I know that their penalty kill, I think, is where he's missed the most, perhaps. And you know what? Eric Brandstrom was killing penalties too.
He's doing, yep.
So finally, before we go, our good friend, Doodling Daryl, he likes to doodle. And yesterday he sent this over. He was on the planes, trains, and automobiles and calls it, because of Yorkie's insistence that I look like Steve Martin, plays, trades, and Ottawa meals. It's very good. Like, it's got the nerd report. It's got Bobby with the fragile hands and the BEI logo. And Yorkie's holding a mug, being upset they didn't get one. I think it's very good.
I think he nailed it. I didn't realize I had fragile hands until just now. Incredible.
Who's Del Griffith, though? Because you're Neil. You're Steve Martin. Someone's got to be John Candy. We need somebody for Del Griffith, the shower curtain salesman. You haven't even seen the movie, have you, Wally?
some of it.
Jesus.
Some of it. Like,
How have you not seen planes, trains, and automobiles?
you know why, Yorkie? Because I work all the time on the show while you're not doing it.
The movie's like over 20 years old. It's a classic.
I don't have time.
I got nothing
Yesterday,
to do today.
I
I think
raked
I might watch that. I'm done working right after this. Hey, I'm gonna have a little matinee. I think today, Yorkie. Well,
I get some popcorn out.
Yeah.
You
Why
haven't
not?
seen it. Hey, I'm gonna tell you, you're gonna like it.
All right.
It ages well. It ages well.
Well, Doodle and Daryl nailed that. Is it Doodle and Daryl?
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah,
He's
nailed that.
awesome.
I think it's phenomenal.
Cousin Eddie is Yorkie from Braden House.
What?
I'm just telling you. Braden House says Cousin Eddie is Yorkie.
Cousin Eddie. That's from Christmas Vacation.
I was like, I don't feel like that's the right movie.
That's Shitter's Full. That's the guy that's Christmas. Cousin Eddie, I'm pretty sure, is Christmas Vacation. And you guys have seen Christmas Vacation, right?
I haven't. No, I haven't.
Jesus, Bob.
I know. I
expected it from Wally, but not from you.
You know what? I'm not a big Chevy Chase guy, so
Neither am I. But he's good.
I
in this
love
one.
Chevy Chase.
I thought he was great in Community as he got older, the TV show. But other than that, I didn't like his stuff. So I will. It's on the docket. I promise.
Did you watch Fletch?
Still haven't gotten Fletch. No, I couldn't find it on Apple TV.
Fletch,
Oh,
Fletch,
okay.
Fletch.
No. I'll
Christmas
get it done.
Vacation. Christmas Vacation, some of his best work, but it's the characters around him. Like cousin Eddie is I'm trying to remember who plays that character, but it's brilliant. Like it's really good. Save it for over the holidays. It's a great holiday movie.
I've been sitting on it for a minute. I'm waiting.
By the way, Elf, 20 years old this year.
Oh,
Great movie.
Oh,
I love that movie.
I think it's hilarious, but that makes me feel old.
I know. I know. We are. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. All right. Well, boys, it's the weekend. So we'll see you back here Monday. Lots to talk about as the team gets set and ready to head over to Sweden.
Oh, yeah. All right. You guys have a good weekend. I'll see you Monday. Hopefully
Yep.
we don't hear anything about a flight.
I got to fly to Halifax today. Playing another hockey tournament tomorrow.
You play more now than when you were a player.
Let the
I
kids
know.
play, Yorkie.
Hey, they keep inviting me, so I got to keep coming. I got nothing else to do.
How much money do you need?
All about Halifax.
It's for the kids, Wally. It's for the kids.
I love Halifax. I started my career there. It's a great city.
Yeah, great spot.
All right, boys. Talk to you soon. Thanks again to Doodle and Daryl. We'll see you, everybody.
Great job,
Enjoy.
Daryl.
Enjoy the weekend.
Coming in Hot is brought to you by Botano.ca. Please hit that like button and subscribe to our channel to never miss an episode.